isn't it? It's gonna make me flip my phone. Damn. All right. How's that? Better? Anyone here? I think I saw Canis. Well, people are trickling in. And before I get to the main point of this live stream, I want to tell a quick story about a commission I'm doing. Um, I'm doing a pair of Wolverine skulls for a client from Instagram, and I remember receiving these Wolverine skulls and cleaning them, and they were in my degreaser just for who knows how long, right? They're in the degreaser as long as they need. But this person, they messaged me and they said, "Hey, I'm actually moving soon. If you wouldn't mind pulling them out early, even though I know they're not done, pull them out and give them to me before I move." I was like, "All right." Um, Took me a really long time to get to the degreaser, and I'll tell you why later. But when I finally did, I found the skulls, brought them home. I was rinsing them off, and I realized, oh, these are not Wolverine skulls. These are Badger skulls. Because I happened to do a pair about the same time. I mixed up the bags, so oops. But then I was like, where the hell are these Wolverine skulls? Because I already searched the whole degreaser and pulled out what I thought they were. So I freaked out. Like, I was gaslighting myself. Did I actually beetle clean these yet? Or did I just, are they still in the freezer? So if you've been following me for a minute, you know that my freezers have been full for a while. I had to stop taking on commissions. I have 4 freezers full to the brim. And I was like, so I was so paranoid that I'd lost these skulls. I did a thorough deep clean and reorganizing of all of my freezers, which was super great because I made a lot of space. Not saying I'm immediately ready to take on more commissions, but I made space. And but I did not find those Wolverine skulls. So at this point, I'm losing sleep, and Wolverines are not small. I was like, how could I have lost these? So I did a thorough deep cleaning and reorganizing of my degreaser as well, and that's when I found them. So at least I didn't lose them. In fact, I have those right here. I don't know why I didn't pull these out in preparation for this. I'll just grab the bag, go back to my table. Wolverine skulls are nasty. They look like hyenas. Put this back. Look at those chompers. Crazy, thick-headed Wolverines. The teeth are in here. Somewhere, I promise. There's one canine. There's one for you, Canis. Here's the other one. Gnarly, gnarly skulls. So I did find them. That's a relief. No, not a badger. They were in a bag full of muskrats. Good news is they're actually done, so I'm not pulling them out early. They look thoroughly degreased. I have not even whitened these yet. Look how pristine that white is, if you can, with this yellow light in the background. Love it. Anyways, there's either 6 of you on here right now, or 6 total people have dropped by, but I'm in a really weird mood. I've been meaning to do this live stream for a long time, but I always found myself unable to do it. Like, I have a new camera and I've been meaning to set up this camera for live stream so it's not vertical like this, and things like that. But I've been holding off on it for so long. I just have to do it, right? Just stick my phone here, go live and do it. And the fact is that I've been struggling for some time now with the Nekroparlor. If you are a religious follower of my YouTube channel, you know I have not posted a video in a hot minute, even though I was up to like 2 videos a month. In fact, I think the last video I posted where you actually saw my face was that vlog where I said I got a new job and I shaved my face. So it's been a minute, right? The reason I'm struggling is because I'm in the middle of a move. From one house to another all day, every day. I'm either moving or taking care of both properties. As I'm moving from one to the other, I'm still responsible for both. And now it's spring and there's trees to be trimmed and garden to be tilled and lawns and everything. So I'm just full-time doing that. But in addition to that, I have 1 week from today, 1 week from this exact moment, I have a show, a reptile expo that I'm vending at, which is the Wasatch Reptile Expo. It's Saturday, Sunday, next weekend, first weekend of May. But that Friday is setup day, and on that same day, I have a concert that I'm performing in for a little local volunteer community symphony that I play in. So that was extremely unfortunate that I have setup day, which takes me 6 hours, but I only have like 3.5 hours to do it before I have to go to my symphony. So, one, if you're local, I'll give you a free t-shirt if you come help me set up on Friday, because the Wasatch Reptile Expo, they're very good to me. I love them. I'm going to be vending with them for the foreseeable future. And they give me a lot of space to do what I want to do. And I get a lot of freedom on designing my space. So I make it big and I need help. I have a helper, but I'll still need help. Was that you, Hell on Wheels? This is so as I'm moving into a new house, right now this room is just empty. This is just like a spare office. But it's my practice room. I play the tuba. Should be practicing right now. So I'm playing incredibly hard things. So I'm practicing moving. And I have a show. But I've been so incredibly stressed recently because my freezers were full, and this was supposed to be the winter of like working hard, emptying the freezers, making videos. Um, I I made it a goal to do that, and I did make a lot of content, but I did not make very much product. I think I have one diaphanized specimen batch since my last show, and that's super disappointing. Um, and that coupled with the videos that I haven't been putting out, I just felt the need to come on and say I'm sorry, especially to my Patreon members. Uh, I've had Patreon for a year now, and I might have turned my YouTube off if it wasn't for them helping me, supporting me, um, get through all the ups and downs of being on YouTube. When my numbers started tanking, I lost 90% of my viewership because YouTube likes to change their algorithms and, shit on the little guys. So if it wasn't for my Patreon members supplementing that income, I would have just given up on content creation altogether. So I feel a little bad that I fell behind, and I'm not entirely sure what it was. I was filming for the my YouTube anniversary, and that's when I did that giveaway. And I was supposed to edit that footage and post it. But I had two or three videos that were like almost done, but I didn't realize that none of them were actually done. So I couldn't just finish one and put it out. And yeah, it fell behind. Um, I did film a pretty cool little montage at the Loveland Living Planet Aquarium. If you remember a year ago when I did a giveaway, I also, for my birthday, did a fundraiser for the aquarium. And so this year I went out and I filmed at the aquarium and I filmed the brick that we raised money for, got my name on it, and that was going to include that in that anniversary giveaway stream. But yeah, now I'm a week away from a concert, a show, no videos to show for it. Um, I have been doing some things behind the scenes, like um, I've been wanting to increase my online sales. That I used to do that a lot more until I started doing shows. Then I kind of stopped doing it altogether. But I'm trying to increase my online sales. So I bought some things to expedite that, like a printer for printing shipping labels and purchasing them online instead of waiting at the post office. Um, a little scale to weigh things when I ship them. It's just been spending a lot of money behind the scenes on streamlining things like that. Even though I haven't done it yet, I haven't like posted all my wares online yet. I'm preparing to scale that up in a major way. So that's been exciting. Um, if you are currently on my Patreon, here's those shirts. Recently, I made a new design shirt, so I've been giving them out to all my patrons. If you want to join my Patreon right now, I'll probably take one more day of shirt orders for those members and send those out for free along with the sticker pack because a couple orders came in late anyways, so I have to reorder again. So if you join my Patreon right now and tell me your shirt size and address, I can get that shipped to you as soon as possible. But that's another thing on top of the printer for shipping. I'm experimenting on my shipping. Like before this point, everything I've ever shipped came in a random box that I salvaged and kept and hoarded and stuffed with, whatever packaging I could find, which really sucked for things like shirts because sometimes I couldn't always find a box small enough, and then I was paying more for a bigger box just for a shirt or whatever. So I'm buying actual shipping supplies like shirt bags, boxes of different sizes so that I can get a standardized shipping going. So the my Patreon members are always the guinea pigs of my experiments, like I'm going to try this new shipping, so hey, everyone gets a free shirt while I figure out how to streamline shipping shirts that people buy. Or whenever I'm second guessing myself, or if I don't care, hey, should we do it this way or that way? Talk to them, and they always have an opinion and let me know. So that's enough peddling my Patreon. You'll either join it or you won't. I'm just reading some comments. I'm also glad I didn't ditch YouTube completely, because when Patreon supplemented that income that I lost from YouTube, it also gave me freedom to film videos that I wanted to film, which are hardly ever are videos that people want to watch. A lot of my videos are super niche, like my how-to videos on how to keep flesh-eating beetles. That's not like a big thumbnail, oh my God, a million people on YouTube are gonna get in on that and watch it. That's for a very tiny audience of people who want to do what I do, and they search, how do I, you know, keep flesh-eating beetles? And then my video is there. And those videos don't get as many views, but they're highly engaged, meaning the people that watch them watched a lot of them. You know, the retention time is very high. They ask questions, they leave comments. They're more likely to follow me long term than someone who just saw a time lapse one time and thought, "Oh, that's cool." So that I'll never make $1 million making super niche videos like that, but with supplemented income, it helped me make decisions like that. While I have this here in front of me, this is my best-selling shirt of all time. You either know what it is and you cry, or you don't know what it is and you don't care. But there's enough people out there who know what it is that it's my best-selling shirt of all time. Thanks to Arlo from Corvid Curios, who designed that and let me. There goes my dogs. Who designed that and let me put it on a t-shirt and sell it. We split those profits. It's awesome. On that note, if you are an artist who makes cool things that I like, I might, say, hey, let's put that on a t-shirt and sell it. And let's both make money. I can tell that the stream is already going to be super ADD, bouncing back and forth, but I'm going to dive into it. All the merch that I have for sale is from an artist that I like that makes cool things, and I say, hey, let's put that on a sticker, and we both make money. It's a risk-free sort of opportunity where if you have ever been on my Etsy, I have like a lot of random shirts and merchandise and things. Those are all like test products where, hey, I like that design. Let's put it on a t-shirt. I put it on my Etsy through my Printify account, Shopify, whatever whatever you make a t-shirt design and they print it for you. Those are made per order. So I'll have random t-shirts on there that I like. Some will never sell, but then I don't lose any money. But if a shirt sells a lot of it, then I'll actually get that shirt printed in bulk and increase the profit margins by a ton and sell it. So check out my Etsy for random stuff. Sometimes it's just my logos, but sometimes it's different artists. I think I missed a question or two. How do I check that? Joshua Murdoch, love to make some shirts. Sweet. Um, Sean Tar, I appreciate you saying you can help on the Saturday. I'm actually good for Saturday and Sunday. I have help that have partially hired to help me, but it's actually the setup day on Friday that is going to be killer because I have such a early call time for the concert I'm going to. Is Helen going to? Who said that? Helen's going to join my Patreon. Appreciate it. There's literally a Patreon that's just $1. Um, I put it on there and said it doesn't have any real benefits. It's just $1, but sometimes I give my dollar Patreon stuff too. Like if I'm in a mood of giving out shirts, even though it's just $1, you can get a free shirt too. Um, Another local artist that I have done work with is my friend Maddie. She does all the stickers with the skeletons on them. And every time I actually make a little bit of money, I go, hey, let's make another sticker. If you want to make another skeleton animal, let's make another and sell that. All right, I gotta stop bouncing back and forth. What was the main points we were getting at? The main points have been I've been so busy I can't even make product. Oh, calling back to the story I told at the beginning of the stream, why I hardly ever make it to my workshop. Like my beetle colony is barely staying alive because I hardly ever make it down there to even keep them like minimally fed. Um, I have so many projects almost done, but there's no way in a week I'm gonna get that many things jarred or skulls assembled or commissions made. I think that's what I wanted to get across on this stream is my commissions because I've been so slammed with commissions and people wanting to send me stuff. I said I was taking on no more commissions, but then like I still had a ton of people give me free stuff, which I love and appreciate. And I could not do what I do without people saying, "Here, I have this dead thing, you can have it." But the killer was starting about February, March. Um, spring is when all these animals are be having babies, specifically like farm animals. So February, March, when it's still late winter, a ton of animals were like dropping their premature babies, um, having abortions and leaving their fetuses in the fields. So within like a week or two, I got a giant horse fetus, a giant stillborn llama, 3 or 4 goat kids, a whole goat that died in childbirth. I mean, I got an absurd amount of farm animals all at once. So many corpses that I don't even know what to do with. My freezers was already full. I was like, what am I gonna do with a whole goat? Um, so yeah, some things I just straight up buried in bins. I was like, I can't store this. I can't break it down right now. And I'm gonna have a lot of nature cleaned corpses now. Um, I had someone give me a commission that was unfinished by someone else. And they're frustrated because of how long that they had to wait for the commission that never finished. But then they gave it to me to finish it, and I'm like, this is not high on my priority list right now, and you're gonna be waiting even longer. And I feel bad, but soon, and I really believe soon, I will be moved in and I won't be taking care of both these properties, and I'll have a streamlined, work on the house and return to working at the workshop and on finishing these videos, etc. Ever since my grandpa died, I kind of got shoehorned immediately into taking care of my widowed grandmother as well. So, that's all my time. And this spring has been really rough. So that's why the title of this video says, I'm sorry, bear with me. Um, these, t-shirts and things is kind of a thank you to my Patreon members because they're the ones actually paying for content that I'm not producing. But they know that if they stick through it, good things are coming. Sean Tar, I do not think I know you, but if you come see me at the Wasatch Reptile Expo, I think I'm going to be giving away just free junk to YouTube subscribers. I used to say that, hey, if you follow me on Instagram and you see me at a show, I'll give you a free sticker. But I feel like I'm really missing the opportunity to get a lot of YouTube subscribers at these shows. Because what I do is I hand out my business card, and my business card has a QR code on it. You scan it, and it shows you all my links for Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Patreon, my website, everything. Everything is on that QR code. But I will give out, no joke, 1,000 business cards over a weekend. And then at the end of that weekend, I'll have 14 new Instagram followers. So I think I'm going to be giving away more free stuff like my bumper stickers that no one buys. They just buy the regular stickers. So I think I'll say, hey, subscribe to me on YouTube, free bumper sticker, and just watch my subscribers ping for that weekend. You're right, I might recognize you, maybe just not your name or your Instagram or YouTube handle. My messages keep going away. Who all is here? Can I see who's here? Nope, I can't see who's here unless you comment. Anyways, if you caught the live stream on Instagram where I gave away that diaphanized chameleon, or Cliff gave it away from Skullatorium, I was kind of saying a lot of the same things, but damn, that was a long time ago now. I still haven't made that video. Yeah. I'll make it like, show me. It says subscribed. Here's your bumper sticker. I have hundreds of bumper stickers. No one's bought. I've thought about just going and slapping them on random cars. Because why not? Because they're super. You watch my how-to videos because they're super fascinating, even though you might not do the how-tos. I'm glad. Sometimes you get to see some pretty entertaining things, like the was it the wolf heads or the Great Dane that I had that gag counter. It was that Great Dane video where I didn't know what I was getting myself into, and I gagged so many times. I had a counter on the bottom of the screen. It got higher than you'd think. Huh. Wolf heads. Wolf heads came from Alaska. They were legally trapped by a licensed trapper there, and I get a lot of heads from trappers actually because trappers they uh, they skin an animal, then they take it to the tannery because they want a pelt or a mount or whatever. But then they throw the rest of the corpse away. They, you know, wolves aren't good eating, and they might pull grease off of it to set a trap for something else or whatever. But like trappers throw the entire corpse away. So usually those are my guys that you know, pay a little extra and they'll chop off a head for me or check for fetuses, baculum bones, whatever else is salvageable, and they'll send it to me. Which to them, it's a natural byproduct of their trade. So, they'll sell heads for cheap, cheap, cheap. Just gotta it pays usually it pays costs more to ship a bucket full of heads than it does, the cost of the. Oh, sorry. Oh, I almost lost you. Um, Now the wolf heads are still very expensive. They were shipped from Alaska. In fact, in the video, you can see that they were not overnighted. They um, they took a while to ship, and they went bad. They went nasty. Hey, Mary Beth is in the house. Did I completely drop you guys? Did it kick you out? And did you rejoin, or did it just stumble for a second? I've never gone live on YouTube, I think, that I remember. Anyways, I think I spieled what I wanted to spiel, so we can just hang out or chat or do a Q&A. I try not I love Cliff at Skullatorium to death, and we talk every day, and he's amazing, but I cannot do the thing where I go live while I'm working on something because either I just end up sitting here talking to you guys, or I look really dumb working on something and you don't get entertained. So I try to make my live streams more like purpose driven. Yeah, I know Nature Showroom. They're pretty cool. I've bought some things from them. That's come on, comments, don't leave me. What was the first animal I worked on that made you realize you were into taxidermy? People who see me at shows know the answer to this question because I have it there. And I don't have it here with me, but if you've seen my wall of oddities before, you've seen my ball python skeleton. It's got a little brass plaque on it, says Stanley. Stanley was my favorite ball python or favorite snake I've ever had. Um, and he ended up dying when I was in college. I took that snake everywhere. I mean, I'm not joking. I would take him, he'd be wrapped around my neck at the movies, in school. I snuck him into a music festival one time. I mean, that snake went everywhere with me. Go to the mall or whatever. So when he died, I was super bummed. And to me, I'd always wanted to, but never could because my mom wouldn't let me. I'd always wanted to save some aspect, the natural beauty of that something that died. Um, so when that happened, I was in college and I was an adult and I could do what I wanted, and I wanted to preserve some aspect of his life. And I was garbage at skinning. I wasn't going to tan or anything, so I figured skeletonization. And I did a lot of research on how to do it, and I knew that beetles was the best way to do it. At the time, I was going to the University of Utah, and I talked to the I forget his name, the professor that's basically in charge of the anatomy courses, and they have a dungeon in the anatomy labs where they keep the cadavers, and in that dungeon they do research on dogs, I guess, and their bones, and they had a beetle colony. So he let me put Stanley in there, and it took a long time because he was kind of on the top of the pile, and the Beatles were working on other important things. But he came out like near perfect, and framed him, and I still have it, and I bring him with me to every show, and I hang him on my easel, and he's not for sale. And he was the first thing that I ever did, and it wasn't until a couple years later that I really wanted to do that again. Beetles were really expensive, and I ended up hand collecting beetles off of roadkill, in like old roadkill, and all the flies had gone away, and it was just beetles. And I hand picked a couple hundred of them and grew a colony from there. Small and slow. It took me years, even after that point, to get to the point where I was like, I had enough product to sell. It was just a little hobby at that point. Um, there was a follow-up question. Wow, the wolves actually kill each other fighting for mates? That's insane. Got a degree in biology from the University of Utah, and it never turned into anything useful or handy. I also got a minor in chemistry, which also didn't get me anything in the field I wanted to. But I will say that it was a driving force for me to do what I do now with my knowledge of biology and chemistry, doing all my laboratory stuff, wet specimens, diaphanization. Having a background in chemistry labs was super helpful. I knew all the supplies and the glassware and the techniques and everything else, and how to PPE and different chemicals. So that helped a lot. Stanley was not very old when he died, which was also super tragic. He was only about 5 years old. But my snake collection had started to grow, and I took on a little bit more than I could chew. And there goes my dogs. Wife must be home. And anyways, I ended up getting this horrible snake mite infestation. And I was going to college, and I would like come home and I'd try and deal with it. And then I'd go and I'd study and be a college student and come back later and be like, oh my God, those mites are still here. And now there's 10 million more. And it grew out of control. And I ended up losing about half of my collection of snakes. So I was super upset, and especially because one of those was Stanley. Uh, yeah, I forget, Canitz, that you're a geologist, even though you're super into skulls and bones too. Um, Geology, that's interesting. See, my problem, now we're going to get into my personal problems. After I graduated with a biology degree, I moved to California with high ambitions. And what happened was I was applying to all these jobs that require a biology degree, things that I was interested in, maybe fish and wildlife or biological companies, whatever, anything and everything. I was applying for everything in the world. But I had a generic biology degree with no real specialization. And I was competing in California with thousands and thousands of people who went to very specifically, like, University of California, UC, whatever colleges that had programs specific to all of these jobs in California. Like, as a microbiologist, like, I could be a microbiologist and go and work in this lab that tests food products, because California is a huge, agricultural state. But I'm a general biologist from out of state competing with 100 people with, like, a food microbiologist specific degree. So it was rough. I never really took off on any job that was in my field. In fact, I ended up working 3 or 4 jobs at a time, just doing whatever I could. Um, so yeah, I struggled for 5 years in California before I moved back to Utah. Huh. And I miss it. I grew up in the foothills of these mountains on the Wasatch Front. And 5 years in California, in the Central Valley, California, where there's nothing but vineyards and nut farms for hundreds of miles. It was a little too flat, and my heart is here in the mountains. Here, see if we can get a view of the mountain even from this window. Can I flip my camera? Yep. There's my mountains. Crappy view from this window. You can see all the trees I've been trimming. I got 10 fruit trees on this property. Wasatch Mountains, man. My whole life, I really disliked a lot of things about Utah. And if you live in Utah, you know what I'm talking about. So I figured, West Coast or bust, live in California for a few years. But man, when you move back, you realize that you spent your whole life taking some of the world's most beautiful scenery for granted. Yeah, yeah, unfortunately, I got an education instead of a trade. So in the end, I tried to use that education and apply it to this as a trade. I was always fascinated with the proper way to do things. Like this pristine skull. Pristine. This takes time and effort. And if you follow some of the most popular skull people on YouTube, they don't do it the right way. They do it the wrong way. And it looks good, and they can sell it for probably, I don't know, a quarter of the price that I would sell it for because it doesn't take them any time. So that's my competition. And I strive to find the people that know the difference between a good job and a crap one. Maybe I'll make a whole video on that. How to tell that your skull was cleaned properly. Exhibit A. Are we going to focus? See those bones in the middle? Those delicate, paper-thin nasal turbinates? If you go to the YouTube channel and they boil the hell out of it, use a pressure washer to scrape the meat off, use pliers to yank things out, there's no way you'd get those delicate little nasal turbinates intact. That's how you know it was done good. I know this looks like crap because he doesn't have teeth. The teeth are right here, I promise. I just haven't glued them in yet. Yeah, Candace, you know who I'm talking about. White bone, something. Well, I think I've been bullshitting in front of my phone for 47 minutes now. I think I'm pretty well out of it unless we have some burning questions. Yes, unfortunately, the people who clean skulls the wrong way on YouTube are the ones who get millions and millions of views for every one of their videos. So he could make an entire living just off of that, where, I make maybe, since my YouTube numbers tanked, I might make $200 a year. So yeah, Patreon really helped me out. Oh, Canish, you're still going to class. That's what you meant by your projects. Yeah, you get it. 4 more hours. Mary Beth, I think you might be my saving grace here. I am in desperate need of a local to help me next week because the Wasatch Reptile Expo setup starts at noon, and I have to be to my call time for my concert is like 4, so that's not enough time for me to set up my booth. I need all hands on deck for Friday, and I promise I will do my hair and shave my neck beard. That's how you know it's been rough when I look like hell. But I also grow it out before a show so that I can cut it down to what I want. I get it, Canis. The thing is, you can always drop what you're doing and join a street gang. You can always do that. But just get the degree first. Oh, right. You're child heathens. I don't know if I could get them in for free. I don't know if I have enough badges for that, but I could use their help on Friday. So I'd have to pick them up, and then they'd be stranded because I will abandon them to go to my concert. We'll talk later. Thanks for entertaining me this long. I just feel like I had so much pent-up guilt. I had to splurge it out with a messy face on a live stream that was Should have been more scripted, probably. And I hope you were entertained as well. I am making it a goal to go live more. I made some polls on YouTube, and it was pretty well decided that Wednesday evenings was kind of the best time. So at least once a month, I'm going to have a structured live where there's a topic or a guest or whatever, and Q&As, and uh, I will get my camera working so it's horizontal, not vertical. And yeah, I'll try to supplement that in with the other videos that I'm putting out every month to try and kick this YouTube algorithm back into gear to work for me. And if you want to help me, there are 1,001 free ways to do that. If you haven't subscribed already, shame on you. Shame on you. Subscribe to this right now. But every, Instagram follow, you could ignore Facebook. Facebook sucks for business. Don't do it. If you want to give me $1 on Patreon, I might even send you a pack of stickers. That's not a free way. What are other free ways? Tell your friends that I'm going to be at the expo. After the expo, I got Ogden Tattoo Convention. That's always the best show that I've been to. I also have the Oddities and Curiosities Expo in September. That'll be a big weekend. So catch me there. If you're local, you can catch me all sorts of ways. I just met an Instagram follower of mine today, Big Irv. Canis, Big Irv. He came over and he brought me an alligator skull. Oh, I gotta grab that too for this stream. It's just outside in a bag. I was at the last Oddities Expo, Canis. It was my first time being there, and I'll be there this year as well. I was not able to get into Vegas, but I will be in Salt Lake this year. Yep, I met Irv. He came over with that alligator skull, and then we chat for a minute. Yeah, look out for that. I'm gonna be making a time lapse of that alligator skull. So I haven't made a time lapse in a hot minute. I've been kind of stockpiling footage. 53 minutes. I'm gonna cut it off now. Thanks for coming. Mary Beth, please chat with me. You didn't know me at the time. And Irv was like, I love meeting YouTube people. Makes it real. Joshua Murdoch. That sounds so familiar. Are you local? Like, that sounds so familiar. Are you a photographer? You'll think about it. Oh, no joke. I knew that. Because on Instagram, your handle is Big Irv, but on Messenger, it says your real name. Maybe I shouldn't say that. Joshua Murdoch follows me. All right. I'm cutting it off. Thanks for stopping by. See you guys.